What is going on, everybody? This is episode 405 of Pop Culture Crisis. My name is Brett. I'm here with my co-host. Introduce yourself, would you?
Hi, Crisis Actors. It's Mary. Glad to be here. Let us know if there are any stream issues.
Should
today.
Be fine. It's just saying that we're not receiving enough video to maintain. This was a thing last time. It should be fine.
Just let us know in the chat if anything seems to go wrong. But anyway,
we won't be able to do anything about it, but it'll be good to know.
Hi, Phil.
Hi, everybody. My name's Phil Labonte. I'm the lead singer of All That Remains, anti-communist and counter-revolutionary. How you doing?
Yes, he is. We got a bunch of stuff to talk about today, ladies and gentlemen.
They're calling you low energy, Brett.
Well, that's too bad. I will turn this podcast around right now, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm going to ASMR crack open a cold one. Can you hear the fizz?
I don't know if you can hear the fizz.
I can hear it.
In the headphones, I can, yeah. We got a bunch of stuff to talk about today, ladies and gentlemen. Margot Robbie and Greta Gerwig gave an interview, a very painful interview, in which they try to explain to you, the viewer, the feminism that is the Barbie movie. And if you think I a lot on this show, if you make fun of me for my inability to talk properly, you're going to get a kick out of this one. You could say that for me, it would be throwing a stone in a glass house, but I'm not going to do that.
A Barbie dream house made of glass.
A glass Barbie dream house. It would be me throwing a stone there. But we're going to talk about it because I think it is a case where they're looking for a deeper meaning than is actually there.
And I'm so glad that it isn't there. That's my thing. They can do the over-explaining and the stupid press tour thing all they want, where they try to, superimpose a message onto this movie. But as long as the content of it is still that it's just a superficial, funny, pretty movie.
Yeah.
I'm still going to enjoy it to the fullest. So they can prattle on. Yep. I don't care.
We're going to talk about it. So we'll get into it. I think they're looking for something that's not there. It looks now, ladies and gentlemen, as if SAG-AFTRA, I don't know, the strike might have come through.
One from Corey Anderson. Sorry to interrupt. He said, ain't no one kicking Margot Robbie out of bed for eating crackers. If she is mid, then so is Mary, and we all know that ain't true. Mary is based, and the only thing she's missing is posting pics of herself with guns.
That's
true. That's true. I've been meaning to do that.
You should
you own guns?
That.
I won't disclose
Fair enough.
whether or not I own guns.
If you want, there are times where we go to the range on the weekend.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Went with Wesley last on Saturday. We could make sure that there were guns
in Maryland or West Virginia.
In West Virginia.
Big difference.
I will not go to Maryland with guns. But yeah, we can make sure that there are guns in your vicinity if you want to take pictures of it.
Okay. It's like it could be interpreted as a veiled threat.
No, not at all.
We will make sure there are guns in your vicinity. Okay.
We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about Bob Iger. He's got some comments to say about the looming SAG-AFTRA strike, the actors union strike, because they failed to reach a deal yesterday with the motion picture, with all the studios.
How many people are surprised?
Very few people are surprised. I don't know how I feel about this because on one hand, well, we'll get into it. Like it's one of those things where I take no sides. I think they all deserve each other. So whatever happens to all of them, good riddance to all of them. I don't care.
I mean,
but we're going to talk about it.
On principle, I'm anti-union. So
well, not just that, but also like they're all so smarmy and their excuse is always pay their fair share and greed. And I'm just like kick rocks.
The fat cats.
Yeah, the fat
cats. They're always
cats.
Talking about the fat cats.
They love the fat cats. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about Dog the Bounty Hunter. Yes, that is a thing still in 2023. He had some very mean things to say about Dylan Mulvaney, and then Dylan Mulvaney promptly fled to Peru.
Oh,
so,
Dog.
I know, right? So
I heard Dog is in Hawaii.
No, Dylan Mulvaney fled to Peru.
Yes.
But Dog is in Hawaii? He lives there?
Yeah,
that's what I heard.
He used to do guest spots on the Hawaii Five-0 reboot.
So
that's so funny.
So he's in Hawaii, because that means that he's not as stupid as I thought.
No,
because Hawaii is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And if you can just like go there and act like you're chasing people around sometimes and get paid what probably is millions of dollars, you've got your proverbial shit together.
He's got it worked out. So we're going to talk about all that. We're going to talk about Dylan Mulvaney. We're also going to talk about there's a whirlwind topic going around Twitter and all of social media today. I have put it up in the poll today, ladies and gentlemen. I need you to answer the question: is Margot Robbie mid? That is the question today. I'm not going to ask you what that means. I'm not going to ask you what the standards are because it's different for everyone.
And don't beat around the bush. It's a simple yes or no question.
So answer the question. It is in the chat right now. Right now, 71% say no, Margot Robbie is not mid. But we'll talk about Twitter. We'll talk about everyone
very controversial.
getting into it. It's very controversial today. You know why? Because it's America, and we've got nothing bad going on in our lives. So we're going to talk about whether this smoking hot woman is in fact mid.
What's below mid?
You'd have to let me know. What is below mid?
Chat.
Wait, what do you mean?
Well,
like examples of celebrities who are
no.
below
What I'm
mid,
saying is,
what is the rating below mid?
Yeah. What would you?
I mean, if you think about it, mid just means we're gonna get into it later.
Average, right?
Average. It means like a 5, right? 5 is average.
Yeah. So we'll talk about, or is a C average? I don't know. We're getting into our movie. We're getting into our movie rating problems again. So we're gonna get into all that. We got a bunch of other stuff. There's a bunch of videos to talk about because Sound of Freedom is turning into a meme and it's my new favorite thing on the internet.
I love Sound of Freedom, but I love the memes making fun of the conspiracies about evacuation and stuff even more.
So let's get into it, shall we?
Conspiracies about evacuation?
Well, basically, we talked about this earlier in the week that people are, having AC malfunctions. They're getting emergency evacuated.
Okay.
Different incidents where for some reason they weren't able to see the movie, and the only reason that you shouldn't be able to see Sound of Freedom is because it's sold out.
Yes. Yeah. All right. So if you guys are ready, we will get right into it. Mary, you ready?
I'm ready.
Bill, you ready?
Yeah, let's go.
Let's do this. Okay. First things first, here's a little bit of a bummer to announce for you guys that Bob Iger's Disney contract has been extended through the year 2026.
Womp womp.
Womp womp womp. We're gonna get more into Bob Iger later because he had stuff to say about the actors strike. But I thought I'd give everyone that update. I want to watch videos. Mary, you ready to watch videos?
Yeah.
All right. Let's go with this one first. This was retweeted by Elijah Schaefer, so let's just go ahead and play this. This was maybe my favorite thing that I saw today. So here we go.
Production assistant on the movie Sound of Freedom, and it was a nightmare. Jim was constantly reading the Bible to different crew members. Then he started handing out prayer cards that say that Jesus saved, except it was a picture of him as an icon playing Jesus. Jim was also extremely paranoid throughout the entire production of the movie. He invited General Michael Flynn to be his counterintelligence officer, but really all Michael Flynn did was just go to catering and take all of the food and pretend to test it for poison, and we would see him and his family eating all of our food. Jim constantly told us how important this film was and that he would be recognized as a hero. It got so bad that one day he told the entire crew not to work because he was expecting an important phone call. When he waited by the phone in his trailer and he didn't receive the phone call, he lost his mind. Later found out he was upset because he didn't win the Nobel Prize for the movie Sound of Freedom.
So, okay, that's satire, right?
It's satire. It's incredible, though. Right. I love the idea that people are now, nothing is safe from memetics. You're always going to fall victim to memetics.
Yeah. And then this other tweet says, I work at AMC and just got fired for refusing to add this liquid to a customer's soda. We were instructed specifically to serve this to Sound of Freedom audiences. I'm a microbiology student and took it to the lab to examine and found what looks like nanobots inside.
Nanobots.
And then there's a community note saying this tweet is disinformation.
It's not satire, it's disinformation.
I would like to know who provided the nanobots.
Yeah. Are those Stark Industries nanobots?
Well, yeah.
When I see bubbles in my sparkling water, I'm like, those are nanobots.
Like, is the idea here that that the Clinton Foundation provided the nanobots to this to stop it? Because remember, Carlos Slim, which is the greatest name for a billionaire ever, is apparently
you just know he's a slime bag.
So there's a guy who helped fund this movie named Carlos Slim, which doesn't sound like a real name. Maybe he's related to Fatboy Slim.
And
I'm not sure.
He's very friendly with the Clintons.
He's friendly with the Clintons, and he helped fund this movie. I don't know what to make of that, other than all of it is becoming a bit too much for me. And I love the idea that nothing is safe from memes.
The movie is good. I don't care who was funding it, really.
No, the movie was amazing. So everyone should go watch it. But here's the thing. if you go, you're gonna have to do what Mary does. When Mary goes to see movies, she goes out of her way to bring the loudest food and drink possible into the
so that I don't
studio.
get poisoned with nanobots.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
from the
imagine that
concession
the
stand.
loudest food and drink you could get would be like a live chicken that you have
No,
to slaughter.
I was actually going to bring an octopus.
She brings in, like, she asks for the loudest containers you can bring food
Nice.
in. It's just plastic as hell. It's just
I wait for the loudest action scenes.
It's all wrapped very tightly in
Yes.
tinfoil and paper, layered like paper. Like first, it's like wax paper, then tinfoil, then wax paper, then tinfoil, and just crinkling as you go.
so like what it is you got to do, because I've also seen you bring boba in from time to time. So you're gonna have to
Fed?
bring your own boba into the theater to prevent yourself from getting dosed with nanobots from the people at AMC.
I also needed to read this one from AirTest00. He said, I need Phil to say nano machines, son.
Nano machines, son.
He didn't say scream, so if he said
just said
scream,
it.
that would
Yeah,
that would be different.
Nano machines, son.
There we go. There we go.
Son.
All right. We got a couple of other things to get through here real quick. Barbie really is killing it with the marketing campaign. They may not know how to explain how the hell their movie's a feminist movie, but they certainly know how to market this movie. Burger King Brazil unveils limited edition pink burger and Barbie shake to celebrate the release of Barbie. It doesn't appetize me, but I also wasn't one of those crazy psychotic kids in the 90s who ate the green ketchup. That stuff was gross looking.
Well, is this the viral pink sauce that was sold at Walmart?
Must be that. And then we got that. And this is, you know what this is, Mary? Phil, yesterday we talked about Thailand has a Burger King burger now. No meat. It's just 20
Just
slices of
cheese.
cheese.
I saw
This is
that.
better than that.
That's the cheeseburger.
Yeah, this is better than that. So,
Can
yeah.
I get a cheeseburger? No burger.
Do you agree with this? Would you
It's
want
a
this?
step up from the Impossible Whopper.
Yeah, you're not a fan of the... See, I've heard...
I have tried the Impossible Whopper, by the way,
Was it good?
during my vegan days.
I tried it.
I didn't enjoy it all that much, to be honest.
It was meh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the chat, Dollclick says, meanwhile, there are kids being abused. Har, 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 WTF. You have to be able to laugh at everything and anything and
Dude.
take the serious when it comes, ladies
I'm
and
not
gentlemen.
laughing at abuse. I'm laughing at a TikTok.
Yes, that is a false dichotomy.
I'll
Sorry
laugh
about
at
that.
abuse.
Okay.
Dare me?
Fair.
Is it a dare?
Is it there? Okay. We get not just that though, ladies and gentlemen. We've got this one. This one's actually really interesting. Barbie pink TARDIS appears in front of Tower Bridge in London.
Pink TARDIS is the thing
Doctor
from
Who.
Doctor Who.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
indestructible and looks like a trash can.
But I think this
Looks
is
like a police
because
box.
one of the Ken characters is played by the guy who's going to be the next Doctor. Kudi Gatwa, is that
Yep.
his name?
Yeah. So they're going out of their way. They're marketing this movie extremely well. I'll give them
Cross-promotion.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're promoting this movie in every. Remember the it feels like a lifetime ago. The big pink dream house was like last week. Feels like 10 promotional materials ago. They like in Malibu, like a huge pink Barbie dream house just like appeared overnight in Malibu. It was
Christopher
crazy.
Nolan is seething.
He's like he doesn't need to market it. Also, and Cillian Murphy said he will go see Barbie in theaters. So they're poaching their actors.
They asked Christopher Nolan if he had seen Barbie yet, and he simply said, no.
He's too serious of a person
Good for
to
you.
do that. Christopher Nolan doesn't do. See, now what we need to find out later is after this, Greta Gerwig needs to make an Oppenheimer movie, and Christopher Nolan needs to make a Barbie movie,
Yeah.
or maybe he can make a Ken. He can make the Ken movie.
I also
If
saw...
Ken was like on the run from the police and blowing up everything behind him.
Yeah, exactly. In reverse.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be awesome. All right. Not just that. I do want to show this clip, guys. I want your opinion on
This
this,
is Taylor
Phil.
Swift and her security
yeah.
guard who
Did you
is
see this?
on watch.
It says security guard was ready for everything and anything. First of all, that's a weird way of saying it. It's anything and everything. Weird. Just
Okay.
weird. Here we go. Full screen. Look at this guy. He is ready for it.
He's constantly ready to draw the gun.
How do you feel, Phil, knowing that Taylor Swift, who's got her own views on gun control, is very well protected by
Taylor
many a
Swift
security guards?
Taylor Swift has views on gun control, and apparently she has views on crowd control as well. That guy is on point. All right, people can make jokes about like him being like, kind of like intense or whatever. That's exactly how he's supposed to be. That dude is He's definitely former military kind of dude. He's like professional security. And if you hire security and your security is broing down with you, you're going to get shot or you're going to get stabbed or you're going to get accosted or something. Your security shouldn't be looking at you when you're in public. Your security should be looking at places where possible threats.
He's looking up at the crowd,
where all the people are.
Which makes sense considering recently there's been an absolute deluge of people getting hit by stuff from people in the audience.
That's fair, but even without that, he should be looking at the crowd because that's where the threats will come from. They're not going to come from Taylor Swift. Like, so no one's going to jump out of her bra and then like knock her over.
It's too bad. It's too bad. Or maybe who could appear there is the lady from the airplane who said that mother effer over there is not real because they're still looking for her and nobody can find her.
No.
Like everyone's looking for that lady.
Maybe she wasn't real.
I love that the acronym is
it's just the
TMFINR.
That lady is amazing. Like I need to know what happened.
No,
to
she
her.
was right. That MFR wasn't real.
I mean, he said.
But Taylor Swift made her comments about gun control, and you mentioned that to me earlier. It's just like she has had her comments in the past, but all of these celebrities are hypocritical when it comes to that.
I mean, look, everyone that knows me knows that I'm an absolutist when it comes to specifically the Second Amendment, but really to any of the things in the Bill of Rights. She can have bad takes. It's fine. Like, she doesn't know what the hell she's talking about, and it's fine.
Yeah.
People are going to be like, yo, you have to talk about this stuff, even if you don't know.
Yeah.
Like, people are going to demand, because she used to not, talk about politics, and people were making demands.
All the
blah, blah,
old
blah.
headlines from 2018 when she did talk about gun control were like, in a rare political statement, or like, we finally have one political opinion from Taylor Swift, and now there's nothing that she hasn't shared about her political views.
Yeah.
Like, it
And
would
I
be
miss
great
it.
to see more celebrities to just be. I would love to see one to just be like, I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, I just want to make a bunch of money, and act immature, and just live my best life.
I saw this.
Oh, they're trying to hurt. Oh, yeah, I don't care.
I saw
I
this
don't care.
awful video yesterday. This TikTok woman posted about moving to Spain. This American couple that moved to Spain. She said, when we first visited, she's like filming with her husband, by the way, who looks like a total cuck. She's like, when we first visited, we were just sitting at this restaurant and all these people were walking by. And I told him, none of them have guns. And that's really what, convinced us to move here.
As if you're living in like a deep blue city, like any of the people there are gonna have guns anyways. Like while you're walking down the street.
Yeah, as if the existence of guns on people
is inherently a problem.
Any effect on your life?
It's really funny.
Except for I read stories that make me uncomfortable because I don't like the idea, as opposed to actually worrying about interactions with people that actually are carrying guns.
Yeah, like when I used to manage this gas station, there was a motorcycle club in, like, it was really interesting. It was a group of all guys who'd been they were sober for extended amount of years, and they got sober through the program, but also they were in a motorcycle club that was all guys who were sober. And he's coming in one day, this guy, and he'd been coming in there for ages, and he opens his vest, and I just happened to catch, like, he had a very well concealed Glock 19, and I was like, that is unbelievably, like, there's no printing on your vest at all. And he's like, I make my jackets. He made his own custom leather vests for his weapons, and I always thought that was really, because he would make them for everybody, and apparently everybody in that group was carrying.
Strapped.
Yeah, was carrying, and then coming there for years, and believe it or not, nobody got hurt. Shocking.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
They're also saying, I see people in the chat saying Taylor is mid. Woo! That is a false one too.
No,
maybe mid at dancing.
I've seen the same take. They're saying, like, Taylor Swift is so popular with women because she's non-threatening. She's not attractive enough to be threatening to them.
That's ridiculous.
We'll get into it later.
All right. Let's also. I saw it. Was it Chuck Schumer the other day was talking about Logan Paul's energy drink?
Oh, good God.
And I was like, what the hell?
Oh, they're going to make it illegal, aren't
Yeah,
they?
it's illegal in Canada now. Yeah,
Nice.
too much caffeine, they're saying.
Good.
That is good.
That's totally sarcastic.
It's definitely no longer Prime Day in Canada. Officials up north said this week that they're recalling Logan Paul and KSI's popular energy drink. I've personally never seen anybody drinking one.
What's it called?
It's
Prime.
called Prime. Is it owned by Amazon?
I have no idea. That's a very good question.
I saw when they first released it. Some of the ads were great.
The ads are fun. The ones in the grocery stores.
Yeah.
The ones in the they were really, really fun.
They were funny
because they were still like people still were under the impression that they were beefing at the time.
Yeah.
So it's like really weird seeing them do these ads together in public. But yeah, it says it has 200 milligrams of caffeine per can. Prime Energy needs to be pulled from the stores. I don't know how much caffeine this has. If does it actually list it on there? It says 0 calories. I don't know if I buy that.
Is it actually Starburst flavored?
Yes. And
That's
it's awesome.
disgusting.
It's amazing. It's the most disgustingly amazing thing you've ever seen. It doesn't list the caffeine here, and that sounds illegal, but it's probably on there somewhere. But yeah, like you're not going to be able to buy it anymore. It says comes in 20 milligrams over the country's recommended limit. Well, if it's a recommended limit, how is that even possible?
Chuck Schumer, stay the hell out of my refrigerator.
Yeah, like, and who are these Canadians? Is this Justin Trudeau? So Justin Trudeau gets to wear blackface, but Logan Paul can't sell his energy drink in Canada. That's just wrong. It's just wrong. All right. What would you like first? We don't have a cute of the day today. We have a wholesome of the day. Guys, if you have cute of the day, you're gonna have to submit them at popculturecrisis_show on Twitter, and then hashtag PCC Pets or tag me in it. But today we have a wholesome of the day, and we have a bunch of cringe.
Let's start with the wholesome stuff.
Okay, let's watch the wholesome one first. This Tacty Platty, I believe, sent this one to me earlier. This is really, really good. So here, let's watch this. This is Kevin Conroy with a Batman story.
And this one guy, in the middle of the night, like 3 nights into this, he goes, "So my day job is I'm an architect." He says, "What's your day job?" I said, "Well, I do voices mostly." He went, "I knew it." He said, "You're the guy who does Batman. You're that Kevin Conroy." So he goes into this dining hall, and this is, the first week after the attack, and there'd been like just this somber sadness. And you hear him go, guys, you're not gonna believe who's been cooking your dinners. It's Batman."
That's amazing.
There's this long silence, and you hear, "Bullshit," from the back of the place. And he said, then someone else says, "Make him prove it." So I thought, oh, this is good. So I'm in the back kitchen, and I do from the back kitchen, "I am vengeance. I am the night. I am Batman." There's this long pause, and then you hear from the back of the place, "Holy that is Batman." And suddenly people were laughing. And the architect who had recognized me said, "What's it feel like to be Santa Claus?"
That was amazing.
That's awesome.
That's an amazing story. Like I need more. Like a lot of the wholesome content you see, it always comes across as almost propagandistic to me.
Yeah.
This is just a wholesome story. Like a lot of because I used to follow I still do a lot of the accounts that are like wholesome way to start the day or like wholesome stories, and a lot of them start to feel like the Twitter mom who says, "My son asked why Donald Trump is going to put everybody in jail."
Yeah.
They all start to sound like that a little bit. This is not that, and it's amazing.
No, that was very genuine. And like, the question at the end, what's it like to be Santa Claus? How great is that, right? To be like, what's it like to have just given happiness to these people that were literally, still in shock.
Yeah.
Yep. And I think that's just sweet as hell.
Unbelievable. All right. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I've given you the wholesome. There's a whole lot of cringe today. So first things first. Actually, you know what? I'm going to show the one that I found first. This, I don't know if this is fake or not, but it does involve shopping carts, and shopping carts are a topic of debate here. Remember, this could actually be, theoretically, Mary, this could be your fault. Theoretically. We don't know. We don't know where this takes place, but you're going to have to watch this. Here we go. You're going to give me the fucking money back. So she...
Excuse me, it's ma'am. It is ma'am. You need to settle down and mind your business, okay? Ma'am, once again, ma'am. I said both of you. No, you said sir. Once again, it's ma'am.
Good for you.
Right beforehand, you fucking said sir.
It's the audio from the...
Motherfucker,
Yes,
take
yes.
it outside. If more Tony's for me, I will show you a fucking sir. Motherfucker. I need corporate no.
She moved it out of the way there. It totally would have moved. I can't tell if this is fake or not, but if it isn't, this is the greatest thing that's ever happened.
I'm really confused.
Yeah.
I
Why
am
was she?
too.
Wait, why was she moving it like that?
But I have no idea. The only thing I can think of is if she's not just really dumb, is that it's staged, and it could be staged, but I have no idea.
What?
That is crazy.
But that could be you. Mary could have left that cart right there because she didn't want to put it back in the corral, and this lady was just like, I can't get in there. Like, how did she get on that side? Did she have to crawl over?
She knows there are carts inside, right?
Apparently not. Amazing. It's incredible. But yeah, good for this lady. At least she got her cart.
She's like this one.
Yeah, she really needed
that one particularly.
Well, the reason,
This one.
but the reason,
right one.
the reason you go to Target rather than Walmart is to get a cart with 4 wheels that actually work.
I haven't gone to Target since the beginning of June. It's starting to get annoying.
The like if
You're
you,
boycotting?
I mean, I just try. If I can go somewhere else to buy stuff, I go somewhere else, and I don't need to go to Target for anything. You know.
Okay.
in the chat, Darboy says, why is this Mary's fault? I said it could be because it could have been a cart left by Mary that she didn't put away.
I'm just so confused why she needed to put it into the cart rail.
None of
then
that made any
take
sense.
it in.
I couldn't believe it. It's amazing. So, all right, let's watch it because Phil Labonte on Twitter shared this earlier. Says this is the weirdest shit. I mean the phenomenon. So you're talking about this actual video.
Yeah, like
right?
I'm not trying to crap on
her.
Look, girls, get your bag. Like however you get paid, you get paid. I don't care.
Well,
but like,
because last night I was like, you know what? If you're saying get your bag, queen, it's weird, but I don't care. Fuck off.
I don't. I genuinely
it's
don't.
Weird.
Well, this is weird. Yes, like the behavior, but I'm more talking about like chicks that are strippers or chicks that are sex workers or whatever. Like I know that there are people that have moral objection to it. I don't care. I don't have an issue with it. But when it comes to the behavior of like what to me my first like instinct was that looks like like a video game, like a save screen, or like if you're, it's like the responses that she's doing are as if it's just a video game, and I'm like, that is the weirdest thing people would just sit there and watch.
Yeah.
Someone that is
And give their money.
Yeah. Yes.
Let's watch the ones that Mary sent here. Here's the first one. Should we watch all of them or just one or two of them? I have no idea. It's
so good. It was you, Max, Pop, amazing. Ice cream so good. Ice cream so good. Take your CR, take your mustard. Ice cream so good. Take your Sky, got money. Wow, I got your name. Beautiful gift for you. Take your heaven. Ice cream so good. Take your Ash, take your Tania. Ice cream so good. Take your Saturn,
so
yes.
weird.
Do your thing, huh? Woof. Take your Noel, take your Yayita. Yes, popcorn, yes, popcorn, yes, popcorn, yes, popcorn. Oh, take your Sky, I love.
I don't know how I feel about this. I just whatever, dude.
It's so weird.
It means that we need to start popping
Popcorn
corn
with
kernels with a hair straightener on the show.
Oh, that's what
right?
her deal is. She's okay. So she's just.
Would you guys send more super chats if we popped
Mary
popcorn
sat
with
there
a hair
and-
straightener on the show?
And this is the one Phil sent.
Marshmallow. Crunchy corn, yum! Kitty paws.
In the chat, Bubba45 asks a very good question. Oh no, I think he said, "What are we watching?" What are we watching? I
It's a
asked.
TikTok live stream.
Existentially.
Pumpkin, yum! Now spicy.
That's scary.
Ice cream, yum! Kitty paws.
So weird.
Ice cream, yum! Once we get to 350, I'll leave, I promise. Pinky swear. Now spicy. Hot dog, yum!
How does she do that demon voice?
Hot dog, yum! Donuts, yum!
Oh my gosh. I wonder if she eats any of those foods when she's not doing this, because I bet you that just ruins her desire to eat a hot dog.
Weird.
It's so weird. I have no idea what this is. The comments are really, really funny, though, because, there's people from the chat in the comments. But they're saying, oh, yeah, I got tagged in this one. By Serenko. Says, no, there's more. I thought just the one I saw in pop culture _show was cringe-inducing already. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I can't.
Apparently, this is a thing.
I can't get mad at someone for making their money, but I can wonder what's going on. I do have questions. It's a very weird world we live in these days. So
it's just very weird.
And I was thinking, like, this is still more dignified than making your money on OnlyFans, but all of these chicks that do this probably also have OnlyFans.
She does OnlyFans.
The first one yesterday did the Pinky Doll or whatever her name was. All right, guys, let us move on. Let's get started. So recently, the movie Barbie, the promotion for the film has gone into overdrive. Oh, wait, before we get started, would you hit the like button on this video? And would you subscribe to this channel if you have not done so already? If you saw earlier, all Super Chats, $20 and over. Mary will go, yes, yes, yes. And then we will read the Super Chat.
Popcorn. Yes, popcorn.
We will read them right then and there, and then we will get back to discussion. Okay, so recently, the promotional material, the marketing for the Barbie movie has gone into overdrive. And while the marketing department has done a fantastic job getting this movie out there in a fun way for everyone to see, the cast of the film seems to be going out of their way to ruin it for everyone by overly intellectualizing their discussions about what the hell a Barbie movie is. No better way is this described, then we'll hold off on that, than in this interview with Greta Gerwig and Margot Robbie, in which they try to explain to this interviewer just what the hell about Barbie is feminist.
There's
right?
$20.
All right, go ahead.
Hobbit said, summon the asteroid, please. Life hurts. This part of the internet scares me far more than AI overlords and nuclear apocalypse.
That is...
I'm gonna go play Halo and Fallout and hide from these people. But not yet. You have to hear us talk about Barbie and why it's feminist.
It's definitely more, like, AI is definitely more frightening than Cherry Crush.
All right, so let's go ahead and let's watch the video. I'll put it on screen here. Yeah. We're gonna watch. Are we gonna watch the whole thing or just like the first couple of minutes?
We need to watch the whole thing.
Okay. Again, guys,
it's so insane.
I hate to
the sewage just spilling out of Greta Gerwig and Margot Robbie's mouth about this film. They clearly didn't know what to say.
The sewage.
It was just, it kept coming. Like, it was like crazy.
By the way, I see Bounding Into Comics in the chat. This article was written on Bounding Into Comics. So let's go ahead, let's watch this clip, and let's just see how Greta Gerwig and Margot Robbie explain the feminism in Barbie.
Able to be understood about the film in advance. Clearly Mattel still talk about it in slightly different terms to you two, but somehow, you know, they don't like to call it a feminist film. The actors seem very comfortable with talking about it as a feminist film, but somehow it doesn't matter that you talk about it differently.
Yeah, I mean, well, it most certainly is a feminist film, and I think that the sort of...
Can you explain that? Why? How so?
To me, it's like that's like one slice of the pie. Like it's so.
It's pretty big.
It's a big slice, but like I don't know. I know. I also wouldn't call it a funny film because then that discredits the fact that it's got a lot of heart and it's got a lot of emotion and it's got a lot of like movie references. You know, all this kind of stuff. I'm like, it is funny. That is a huge part of it. It's a comedy,
right?
But if you just call it a funny film, you almost make it sound like it doesn't have a lot going on, and it does.
Well, I mean, like this is sort of when we talk about this stuff, it almost sounds silly because you start talking about Barbie and Ken, and then you're having very serious discussions about Barbie and Ken.
Yeah,
but
it sounds silly because it is.
To whatever that sort of like. It's also a humanist film because it's like the humanity insofar as you can call it of like Barbie and Ken is what's paramount in the film. And at the beginning of the movie, you know, Ken is a person with no status in this world. So in this kind of reversed world, that person who has no status is in a completely untenable place long term.
Quite a brave decision too, to give Ken such a big character in the end, to take him away from being the cipher that he's always been into a real thing.
Right, which is, but that in that way, it's giving him, humanity, as it were, as a doll, as whatever these kind of knots on knots that we have of the world of Barbie. But yeah, I mean, I also think I will say just the existence of this film in the way that it does is pretty incredible and is pretty, I mean, like, when I think of it, this sort of as it stands, I'm like, this is amazing that this movie is made, and it's made the way it is with Margot as a producer and a star, and and what the story is of the movie. It feels sort of unbelievable that it's been made, but I think it's feminist in a way that includes everyone. It's like it's a rising tide lifts all boats version of it.
Yeah, I think some people hear the word feminism means that doesn't mean men, and I'm like, well,
it does mean men.
Anyone who believes men and women should be equal is feminist.
It's that simple.
But I think some people hear the word feminist and like associate a lot of negative baggage with the word. And
so what is it for you in the film? If you think, if you guys are comfortable, there I go, look at me, if the actors, if all the people on set are comfortable, they get that the word belongs to the film. How so?
I think it belongs to the film because I think it's when we were making it, the whole Barbie is like an icon that, as Margot was speaking to, that it's both. She exists in the both and, not the either or. She's not either good or bad, or is that diving into the complexity of it and not running away from it, but like looking at all the thorniness and stepping into it, and also looking at all the thorniness and
it's all coming
into
together.
James Lindsay would do a better job at this.
Of what women need to be, and how to give them something other than a tightrope to walk on is how it feels feminist to me.
Is there more?
No.
Yeah, there's more.
Actually, when I got asked the other day, like, is Barbie a feminist? I was like, well, she's actually like the level up from that, because if you look at Barbie Land at the beginning, like the Barbies are on top and the Kens are kind of disregarded. So I was like, well, that's not equal.
No, right.
So whatever
Margot is doing slightly better.
is actually Barbie's like. So towards the end, when they balance things out, then it might be feminist.
Let's read the two $20 super chats there.
Okay, we've got one from Rhaegar Targaryen. Literally, Kamala Harris could have given the same explanation. Or Jen Psaki could have been like, we'll circle back on that question. Let's just circle back.
She's 100 times better than Kamala Harris.
And then B Mafia 716 says, "I'm sending this just to stop the stupid of the interview." Thank you.
Look, I also saw a chat.
They just kept going.
I saw a chat earlier with somebody saying, "Brett, please make this stop." But I was informed earlier today that I paused the videos too much. So if I have to suffer and I'm not allowed to pause, then my friend, you all get to
suffer through it
with us. Do you want to keep? Oh, we got one more.
We got another one from Dave Gazuli. Representation of women in positions of success is the least important part of actually getting women to succeed. The parts of society that actualize women to succeed have nothing to do with the sales of a frickin' doll. SMH here.
They're over-intellectualizing it. Do we want to keep going, or do we like again, guys? You can make this stop anytime. You just have to send $20 super chats.
I mean, we can show the rest. If they end up giving us an actual explanation, I'd be shocked.
I will say that Margot Robbie did mildly better than poor Greta Gerwig, who seems to have no clue what she's talking about. Like, I mean,
they
just
are like sweating bullets because they cannot say anything like, well, maybe it's just not that deep. Like, maybe there's no feminist message in the movie, and it's just a movie, and we enjoyed making it, and I hope that you enjoy watching it. They can say anything but that.
Maybe there's some female privilege here, because if Christopher Nolan gave that explanation for why, because his movies make no sense half the time anyways. I watched Tenet a bunch of times. It makes sense, but you get what I'm saying.
Interpreting this as charitably as possible from Greta Gerwig, she's saying that Ken in the Barbie universe, not in the real world, is, as a man, a sort of second-class citizen. and he's in an untenable position because he's not recognized as a whole person the way that Barbie is in the Barbie universe. So it's like turning the tables on men and women in the real world because, you know, women are still treated like second-class citizens in 2023.
Yeah, God.
And they're, you know, Ken is kind of actually being oppressed in the Barbie universe. So it's like showing you the other side of the coin.
Now I don't want to see Barbie.
They're subverting expectations
I'm sick
because
of
men are
things being
second-class
subverted.
citizens in the Barbie universe.
I'm fed up with subversions.
Yep, that's it's the worst thing that you can do now. Is like the only way to actually subvert something now is to not subvert it at all.
The funny thing is, like, Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling themselves in all of their interviews have been so expertly media trained that they're able to market it so well, and they avoid these stupid questions and these like long form essays about why the movie is like this, you know, academic interpretation of like social dynamics, or here's the like deeper message of it. They're just marketing it as fun and superficial and visually pleasing, which is exactly what it was supposed to be and why everyone's going to see it, right? Like,
I would hope, yes.
And they can keep prattling on about why it's feminist and why it's actually, you know, putting the nail in the coffin of heteronormative gender ideals or whatever. They can keep doing that, and we can just pat them on the head and say, yes, that's great, dear. That's really nice, honey. And
how much
we can
money
just
did you waste on
enjoy
your
the
degree?
film for what it is, right?
Like, do you think she was having flashbacks to some type of dissertation she had to give on gender studies?
She does press so often. Like, you would think she'd have a better way of answering that question.
To be honest with you, I think there's some value in that statement. The idea that she is unprepared for these type of comments, considering it's 2023, and I mean, she should have a canned answer that is succinct and can get her from the, you know, get her through that question.
4 sentences at most.
Yeah, in a clean way that does what it's supposed to do, and she should use that same answer every time someone brings it up. Because I tell you what, I've done a boatload of interviews myself. 99% of them are the same. Yeah. The same questions, the same stuff almost all the time. The ones that are good are the ones that seem like conversations where you don't realize you're answering the questions of the interviewer. Stuff like that, where it's Q&A, like, you should have a canned answer for probably 95% of the stuff they ask. You know what you're going to say. Then you can pepper in like stories that relate to the person or to the area that you're in or whatever to make them seem less pre-programmed, but you should have the basis of your answer for the vast majority of the questions they're going to ask.
I mean, maybe this shows that Greta Gerwig cares more about her movie than just giving it this canned appearance.
No.
It's, you know,
disagree.
Like, if she can't come up with an answer for that question, maybe it means that she didn't make it to be a feminist movie, and now we can expect it to be good.
That's true.
She doesn't know why it's feminist.
That's true. It also is a good idea to have an answer for those kind of questions, regardless of how you made it, because you know that stuff is coming. It's like you're doing Barbie. Of course that stuff's going to come.
It'd be really easy to make up an answer like that. Like, you know, Barbie has been attacked for being a misogynistic stereotype of a, you know, blonde bimbo with no values or convictions. And we're tackling those criticisms in this movie.
She would have been better off just like literally like ask, because a lot of times they can ask ahead of time what the questions are, right? Like she should have just done that and just fed it into ChatGPT. And gotten herself...
ChatGPT would do a better job at completing this interview for sure.
Yeah.
Maybe we should ask ChatGPT on air. Why is the Barbie movie feminist?
That's because the newest information would be 2 years old, so it wouldn't have access to the current year information about it. But yeah, like I was watching it and I just felt
it's a humanist film.
Like that felt that, and when she said high tides raise all boats, I'm like, now she's just saying stuff. Like that doesn't have anything to do with the movie. What are you talking about? Like, but
this is like when Mark Zuckerberg does like he answers questions.
Yeah, but I also felt bad for her because like she's out on an island there at that point. The interviewer's not cutting in to like help, to be like, oh, you mean like the interviewer could have helped her out a little bit there. I felt bad.
She had to keep asking the question over and over again because she was getting non-answers. But this is like when Mark Zuckerberg is in like answering questions of Congress people, and he's like, I actually don't know. Next question, please.
Yeah. I mean, or it could just be that maybe her answer isn't politically correct. Maybe she has an answer she doesn't want to give, but it's just not a politically correct answer.
They're too cowardly to just say this is a fun movie and that's all that it is.
I mean, I'm still, I don't know if I buy that anymore. I'm starting to, we're going to have to wait and see, but I'm not sure if I buy that this is just a fun movie anymore. I'm wondering if just the promotional department is at war with the writing department, and the promotional department just really wants to make it work, and the writing department just doesn't have a clue.
I think we should show the video of Miss Teen USA 2007.
Did you send, first of all, we got a $20 super chat there from Dave Gazzouli.
Dave Gazzouli said, to address the poll, anyone who calls Margot Robbie mid is right in the sense that she is a 10 in the midst of 5, 6, 7, 8s, and 9s. What does that mean?
He's saying she's a 10 in a sea of 5, 6, 7s, 8, and 9s.
I agree with your sentiment, Dave. That one just didn't go over.
I liked it.
I liked
confused.
it.
My brain doesn't work very well, so I thought that it worked for me. It worked in my brain. Did you send me the?
Yeah.
Is it? There it is. Okay. Yes. Let's watch this. Is this pulled up to a timestamp, or is it just the whole clip?
The whole clip.
Okay. Here we go.
Recent polls have shown a fifth of Americans can't locate the U.S. on a world map. Why do you think this is?
I personally believe that U.S. Americans are unable to do so.
This girl could have played Barbie.
Because some people out there in our nation don't have maps, and I believe that our education, like such as in South Africa and the Iraq, everywhere like such as, and I believe that they should, our education over here in the U.S. should help the U.S. Or should help South Africa.
Yes, Greta
Gerwig. Should help the Iraq and the Asian countries, so we will be able to build up our future for our children.
Thank you very much, South Carolina.
He's trying so hard not to laugh.
Wait, was that Mario Lopez?
Yeah.
Poor Mario Lopez.
Yeah.
Mario Lopez is trying so hard not to laugh in this girl's face.
That was history making, man. Mario Lopez is a part of history.
Oh man, like she could have played Barbie. You're right. They could have had her play Barbie, and they could have confused pageant queen question Barbie, and that would have been great. I also wish we could have covered that there was a thing at the beginning of the year where apparently like a bunch of pageants,
U.S. Americans,
like a bunch of pageants were supposedly rigged. Like they were like, the lady who won like doesn't look surprised, because they always have to feign surprise, and then the other people have to feign like they're happy for them. And the ladies were not happy, and the lady who won was like, yeah, I won. And they were saying like she might have, there might have been some trickery at play. And then now we have, what was the one that happened recently where a guy won a pageant? The guy won
Miss Netherlands was actually a biological male.
Guy won.
I think I agree with Barbie. Math class is tough.
It is.
And interviews are even tougher.
Clip that. Like that was great. That was fantastic. Look, at the end of the day, like if you make an action movie, like Tom Cruise does not have to come out. Have you noticed? So the new Mission Impossible movie, right? Hold off on the $20 super chat. The new Mission Impossible movie. The new Mission Impossible movie is about artificial intelligence. That's the bad guy.
Yeah.
But Tom Cruise isn't out here saying, well, the reason why the movie is important is because, that artificial intelligence
He's like conjecturing
it's an existential threat to like the threat to America because like the thing. No, he doesn't say that. He just says it's a fun movie. You should go see it. Stuff blows up. I ride motorcycles and I run fast. That's all you have to do. It doesn't need to be more than that. There's a $20 super chat there from Francisco Sanchez Jr.
Greta's sequel, Barbie 2 Transformers, more than meets the eye.
Yes!
Well, I mean, there already is a trans Barbie in the supporting cast of this movie, which I'm not happy about, but I'm willing to overlook that. I'm willing to overlook these stupid interviews and Simu Liu saying that it's, deconstructing gender norms and blah, blah, blah. As long as it's a fun movie and the actual content of the movie doesn't browbeat me or condescend to me, then I'm happy to just enjoy it for what it is.
I love the idea that, like, if Simu Liu's like, we're here to reinforce gender norms, and forced through a patriarch. Like, that's what they should have done. They should have marketed it the opposite way as a meme and said, we're here, and then make it a feminist movie and then scare everyone.
They should have actually made that movie and then marketed it that way and been really subversive.
All right. Hey, we got to that $20 one fast enough. I just had to make my point there. All right, let's go to Super Chat, shall we?
Okay. Andrew Jacobs said, Margot is hot, Mary's hotter, mic drop. I don't agree, but thank you. I appreciate it. Yesh said, Brett, rad, Mary, trad, Phil, anti-comrade.
Also, Mary, like that was a good answer, Mary. Is there another answer where you're like, yeah, like I am really like a lot hotter?
I could have done a Greta Gerwig.
Then like, oh well, like maybe I am like kind of sort of hotter than Margot. The things.
Thank you guys.
It's party time.
In the chat, MoonTuneX says Tate for Ken. What if they had Andrew Tate play Ken?
Or one of the Kens.
Yes, that's what they
He's
could have
just
done.
super misogynistic. Tom Bomber said, not only did I eat the green ketchup, I made a meatloaf with it. It was one of the most disgusting looking things, but tasted just fine. That is all.
I mean, but presentation is a big part of cooking, right? They talk about that when you watch like chef shows and stuff. Like, it does matter.
Unless you're alone,
technically,
it doesn't matter.
Like
technically, it's not part of cooking. It's presenting.
It's a presentation of it, right? Like you're like something can actually turn you off eating something because it doesn't look appetizing.
Of course.
Just close your eyes.
Yeah.
Of course.
Shane H. Wilder said, wait, they put nanobots in my drink. That explains a lot.
Yeah, dude, I'm with you, man. It's you got to be careful when you go to see Sound of Freedom next. If you go see it again, bring your own drink inside. That way, you're also sticking it to the man because they're trying to screw your movie over. So let's hold off on the rest. We'll come back, ladies and gentlemen. Let's talk about the writer's strike is already going on. Let's talk about the Actors Union, SAG-AFTRA, going on strike after negotiations fell through. There's a lot of statements coming out about this. We're going to talk about Bob Iger's take on this predominantly, but right now there's one statement in this Deadline article that's been making the rounds on Twitter and social media. Screen Rant posted an infographic. Mary, do you want to read them what it said in this article? Because it is a bit shocking, but also makes perfect sense.
It said, the end game is to allow things to drag on until union members start losing their apartments and losing their houses.
Yeah.
They just, it's a business. What do you expect? A business is going to business.
Look, the thing is, people forget that strikes are not guarantees.
Yep.
The point of a strike is to cause pain to the manufacturer or the business owner so that way he gives into your demands. If you're in a position where you cannot cause enough pain to a business, you're gonna lose.
Yep.
So the idea that the union was guaranteed to win and et cetera, that is not how strikes go. There is plenty of history of the people that strike losing their jobs because they decided to strike. There's a lot of the idea that a lot of people have nowadays is you join a union and then you get to boss the boss around. That's really the vibe.
That's what they want.
Yeah, well, a lot of people are supporting the writers' strike and the actors' strike just on the basis that it's a strike and that it's unionized in any way, not based on whether their expectations or demands are reasonable.
Yeah, it's all political, and this falls into, I think, the category of people that are kind of doing activism because they think they're supposed to, as opposed to having principled objections or principled understanding of the situation at hand. I don't know much about the people that are striking other than they're writers in LA. I mean,
and actors now it's the actors
and actors like,
and it's also,
how bad am I supposed to feel for you?
The consequences are going to hit people who work on crews, on sets,
of course.
Not people who are in SAG-AFTRA the most, and they supposedly have a fund.
Yeah, the below the line people are going to be supposedly taken care of, but that will run out eventually.
That will run out.
If you think
and
you
also,
can,
the big name actors are not going to be opening their wallets to help them because they don't care. They're anti-fragile. They can do whatever they want. And this is also going to hurt most of the less established actors in the union the worst.
Yep.
The big names, like Fran Drescher doesn't care.
No, and
whether the union
I mean, she
gets what they want.
She cares because it's her job to care, and she'll try to negotiate the best deal she can because it's literally her job.
But I mean, ultimately, she's like partying in Paris with Kim Kardashian. Like
they explained. Apparently, she's an ambassador for the brand that was throwing that event, so she had to be there. And they announced beforehand that she would be out of town for that, and she did. She was on video conference meetings during the strike that whole time. So like they're gonna do what they're gonna do. But the thing is here, it's simple. The actors and the writers have done nothing to ingratiate themselves to the public, who are just not going. Maybe 20 years ago, it would have been like, yeah, stick it to the man. The corporations suck. And I have no love lost for some fortune. The corporations are just as bad putting out all the garbage that we're seeing today. But between the political activism from actors, the crappy writing and political activism from writers, the average person who doesn't know what's going on in the industry is going to be like, I don't care. I hope you get what's coming to you. I'm not trying to be
Russia
rude.
versus Ukraine. I don't like the studios and I don't like the actors. And they're talking about like these fat cat executives at the studios don't care about these actors getting paid fairly. But the actors are already overpaid and overly entitled.
I don't like any of the shit you produce.
And,
I don't like the I don't like the studios. I don't like the actors. I don't like the writers.
So you can all go to hell for all I care.
Screw off. I don't care.
They're talking about these corporations are like they're posting record profits and like these companies are
I don't
losing,
give a shit. Like if
but
I hear
they're not. There's like first of all, we just came out
I don't care.
We just came out of COVID where they lost insane amounts of money trying to pivot to new business models. They're cutting projects left and right. The idea that they're posting record profits is simply not true.
I'll take their-
and if it is, it's not true based on one department alone because these are diversified businesses and portfolios. Warner Brothers, Universal, Disney, they don't just make money on your crappy movies and television. They make money at theme parks with merchandise, with toys. It's not all because of you. If anything, right now, Netflix, Hulu, Disney, all of these streaming services, you know what they need to do? All these actors, like, we're striking forever. Like, okay, who's buying up Seinfeld?
Fired.
Buy Seinfeld, buy The Office, and live forever on these shows. You don't need them forever anymore. Like, there was a time when there was no streaming where, yes, the new season is coming up and you need your shows to put on television. Now, you know what they say? They go, you, and you. Make a bunch of reality TV shows. You, and you. License out as much product as possible and get as much incoming streaming material as possible. And we will weather this storm until we literally choke out these people and they're so broke they have to come crawling back to us. Does that give me warm fuzzies inside? No, it doesn't, but I have a hard time really caring, especially since you said one of the big points here.
The sticking point here is that they haven't reached negotiations on AI.
And
actors getting compensated for their likenesses being used in AI.
And remember, directors signed their new agreement two weeks ago. Directors already renegotiated their upcoming deal. Let's listen to what Bob Iger has to say about it. Bob Iger, who just signed his new $27 million contract. Here's what Bob Iger had to say about it.
Content. We're in the midst of a writer's strike, and very likely it would seem to have a actor's strike. How is that going to impact things, and what are your expectations there?
Well, I think it's very disturbing to me. We've talked about disruptive forces on this business and all the challenges that we're facing and the recovery from COVID, which is ongoing. It's not completely back. This is the worst time in the world to add to that disruption. I understand any labor organization's desire to work on the behalf of its members to get the most compensation, to be compensated fairly based on the value that they deliver. We managed as an industry to negotiate a very good deal with the Directors Guild that reflects the value that the directors contribute to this great business. We wanted to do the same thing with the writers, and we'd like to do the same thing with the actors. There's a level of expectation that they have that is just not realistic. And they are adding to a set of challenges that this business is already facing that is, quite frankly, very disruptive.
So they're not being realistic?
No, they're not.
Why not?
I can't answer that question. I respect their right and their desire to get as much as they possibly can in compensation for their people. I completely respect that. I've been around long enough to understand that dynamic and to appreciate it. But you also have to be realistic about the business environment and what this business can deliver. It is and has been a great business for all of these people, and it will continue to be, even through disruptive times. But, being realistic is imperative.
What do you
here.
do in the interim then? Does AI start to write a lot of scripts?
It will have a very, very damaging effect on the whole business, and unfortunately,
the strike will.
There's huge collateral damage in the industry to people who are, who are support services. I could go on and on. It will affect the economy of, different regions even because of just the sheer size of the
They
business.
really wanted a quote from him about AI here.
I know.
I wanted to read this one quote from a well-established actress who decided to go unnamed in this article. She said about AI, "This is a power grab, pure and simple. We see what's coming. They can't pretend we won't be used digitally or become the source of new, cheap, AI-created content for the studios." And that's totally true, but I mean, first of all, that has to do with the fact that, non-AI generated content has been devalued so heavily, and no one likes it, and it costs too much to make.
When you spend, I was reading somewhere that they said that Katie Sackhoff said that the catering budget on The Mandalorian was higher than the entire budget of Battlestar. the money, the money gets wasted, and there is a fair point here. Like, we're talking about when you mentioned the richest of the rich, it's not every actor that works in Hollywood that's a member of SAG is a rich actor. There's plenty of them that are living paycheck to paycheck that aren't gonna make.
I don't know who mentioned the richest of the rich.
We were talking about, look, rich actors, rich writers, rich people. There's also plenty of actors that are not wealthy that are going to struggle through this.
But my point wasn't about. My point was, or that I wanted to make was, I don't care how much money the studios are making.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Like, the idea that, they're making X amount of dollars.
So they need their they need to pay their fair share.
Yeah, I don't
greed.
care.
They use the word greed.
I don't give a shit. They can the idea that you're entitled to an amount of money from the studios. No, you're not entitled to anything. Yep. You've got a deal worked out with the studios. The point is, your union is supposed to make a deal with you make a deal with the studio that's satisfactory to you.
Yeah.
It's also captioned like Bob Iger, who makes $27 million a year, by the way.
That's just because of the garbage commies in media. That's literally what it is. The point of that stuff is to set people off and upset them about the amount of money that a CEO makes. But someone that is, if writing shows and stuff like that is anything like writing songs in Hollywood, which I imagined it is, you get 4 or 5 people in a room and you bang out scripts, bang out ideas. You're one of 5 people that worked on 5 episodes of that 15 episode episodic thing. How much did how much input did you do compared to the other 4 people that were in the room, and is how it tends to go. So this idea that people have some kind of entitlement to what the studio produces because they worked on it, it's really, really not something that I'm in any way sympathetic to.
Yep.
I wanted to list some of the projects that are going to be impacted by the actors' strike. The 2nd season of House of the Dragon. And by the way, this whole list is just shit you don't care about.
A lot of people like House. A lot of people.
No,
like
I know
House
a lot
of
of people like it. I don't personally care. Day of the Jackal, Industry, Bad Sisters, Doctor Who, Andor, Alien, The White Lotus, Emily in Paris. This is all just shit.
The White Lotus is popular.
Movies, Paddington in Peru, amazing.
With Dylan Mulvaney.
Amateur, Gladiator 2.
Is it actually with Dylan Mulvaney? Oh.
The Radleys, Mortal Kombat 2.
I care about that.
I mean, it's going to be a sequel in 2023 or 4, so who cares? Heads of State, Wicked, Beetlejuice 2, and Speak No Evil. Yeah. And I just don't... I'm not on the edge of my seat to see any of this stuff. Nope. If the actors strike... makes these movies get shelved or trashed entirely, I'm going to be still, able to sleep at night.
And in the residuals and the royalties may be low, but like I said, you've done nothing to get the public on your side because you're annoying activists. Your writing in the industry has been subpar at best for the last 10 years. There's not much you can say to me that puts me sympathetic and in your corner.
Are actors allowed to promote their projects during a strike at all?
Nope.
So if the strike starts today, which they did the vote this morning, does that mean that promotion for like Barbie, for instance,
you're gonna have
is gonna have to discontinue?
That would depend. Like when it was just the writer's strike, it would have affected the writers.
Right.
For the actors, I don't know. We'll have to see. They might have gotten it out just in time. There was a big one there from Stephen Harris that is not with a message. There's no message there.
Okay.
But thank you, Stephen.
Thank you for the crisis party.
But yeah,
yes.
yes. Look, the other sad fact of this is, guys, we are in an age now where the Zoomers and beyond, they're watching yes. Oh my God, yes, ice cream, yes. They don't.
Margot Robbie is gonna have to become a TikTok live streamer.
Like Margot Robbie's just gonna be like yes. Wow, yes. Like you don't explicitly need this anymore. And eventually, what you're gonna do is you're gonna bully adults into watching that. Next week, Phil's gonna have to be like watching. Wow, yes. Ice cream, yes. Hot dog, yes. Like they don't need you anymore. And entertainment as a whole has been democratized. You will be able to watch all the same streamers that you love on Twitch or Kick or whatever platform it is, and the bargaining power is going to remain with the studios for the time being. Now, one thing that could be said, like, look, if a Tom Cruise comes to you and says, I want to promote Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning 2, what do we need to do to make this strike go away? There may be more on the table there, but I'm just sick of the blatant, bland, it's because of greed issue when we see all the time that shows get left up for, like, they admitted when they were making all these last however many seasons of these shows on the CW that none of them made any money ever. They never profited. They lost money on it all the time.
Yeah.
What are they supposed to do with this? They're canceling projects left and right.
If corporate greed were a thing, would they not make shows and movies that people actually want to watch?
Yeah, you would think that like
if corporate greed were such a factor here, there would be more.
Your ESG score won't keep you warm at night,
right?
Your ESG score won't keep you warm at night. So I guess maybe you should have promoted yourself based on talent rather than based on. And I know that this is coming off callous, but these people are the same ones that lecture you, the same ones that tell you that if you don't like their movie, you're a sexist, misogynist, istophobe. I just miss me with it. Me with it. I don't care. I'm sorry. And we'll still review things if we have to go through and review old things with lots of those actors that are still getting their residuals because they made a mark on society. I guess they'll just have to deal with it, actors.
Actors are going to be stuck in their homes again, just like COVID.
Oh no! Well, it's
going to make Imagine covers.
I mean, but that's what that statement was, right? That they're literally just going to wait them out. And they own enough IP. They own enough of this stuff to keep going.
One from Mr. X. He said, Did you ever have a dream that you want them to do you so much you could do anything? Greta Gerwig.
That's yes, it's what it yeah. Look, guys, I know we're making fun of her, but I'm not much different than her. I'm not far off from that. So, I sympathize with her on that. But if she wants to make fun of me, she can. But,
that's us when they ask us how Pop Culture Crisis is a feminist show.
She doesn't know I exist, so it's fine. We're good. Do you think that there's any way that this gets solved anytime soon? Another thing that's big here is there are now two departments. There's now the actors and the writers striking, and the directors are over here like, we'll work.
Yeah,
we're good. Like, what made it so that the directors were willing to strike? And I asked this to Dallas Sanye. I said, like, why did the directors come to a deal so quickly and the writers weren't able to do that? He said, reasonable demands. You're never going to get these studios to bend on AI. There's too much money to be made. There's too much control to be had. An AI isn't going to talk back to you and strike. How about that? Well, the AI isn't going to tell you that it wants fair compensation.
True.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think that they're going to come to the negotiations that they want on AI. I think this is actually just going to solve the problem in Hollywood that we've been wanting to solve, just in an unexpected way, which is the dilution of constant content getting churned out that is useless and no one likes. And they're going to have to start paring down and making products that people actually want to see.
Yes, yes, yes.
Thank you.
Yes, yes, yes. Yes, crisis party. Yes, yes, yes. I don't know, man. Like on one, like it does feel like 20 years ago you'd have been like, yeah, stick it to the corporations, whatever. But nowadays it just feels like there's like no chance of that.
And
anymore.
in that same interview, Bob Iger admitted that the emphasis on quantity over quality with their Marvel productions has devalued the franchise and taken the focus away
You don't say.
from the audiences.
They also
they're less interested because you're not making quality content.
Colleen in the chat here says, or I'm sorry, in the Twitter space says, look at the wealthy guy trying to justify paying slave wages to his workers. Hyperbole much?
Yeah.
I guess, actually, I don't know. There's a $20 one right there. There's one from Dave Gazzulli.
He said, until Hollywood breaks away from the whole prequel, sequel, reboot, retelling dynamic, I will cry no tears for the poor striking actors. Phil, can I get a hell yeah or a yes, yes, yes?
No, no, no. Yes, yes, yes. I don't get, like, I don't get why people are feel sorry for the screenwriters. Like, they've been writing garbage. Everyone knows they've been writing garbage for, ages and ages and ages. People complained about the quality of the stuff coming out of Hollywood and stuff for ages and ages and ages. And now it's like they're seeing. I checked out of stuff that was episodic TV and stuff. I think it was when Shameless had an episode where Antifa were the good guys.
Yeah.
Like, and this was after 2020, after like there were like Antifa was burning down buildings and, throwing Molotov cocktails at people and stuff. So after that, I was just like, all right, this whole industry is lost.
Yeah.
Watching any of the garbage that they put out is totally antithetical to any of my personal goals, which are to have as much pushback against that type of mentality as possible. I don't get why people are upset. Let it fall apart. Let them fire them. They need to have market competition, and they don't have it. So, they're probably getting the results of market competition in the form of the lost wages and lost revenue because people don't watch that stuff anymore.
And in the end of the day, the people are just going to go and rewatch. These studios own tons of content. They own tons of IP. They can always license out more content. Like right now, is anybody canceling Netflix because no new show comes up? Like it'll take a while before that happens, right? Like the joke was always like people turn on Netflix, they scroll for 45 minutes and they just watch a comedy special. Like they can keep doing that. And they're gonna be able to keep doing that, and they're gonna be able to wait it out a hell of a lot longer than the writers or the actors will. So true. I know this isn't the most nuanced or the most intellectual take on it, but they've broken me from 10 years of garbage. So sue me.
Let's go to Superchats. Gabby Hayes said, Taylor Swift is far more mid than Margot Robbie, going off physical appearance alone. Whoever votes mid has never been with a woman like Margot. Taylor Swift is not mid in any sense of the word, and also should have gotten a cameo in the Barbie movie because she's
maybe they're hiding
a 6 foot tall blonde.
Maybe they're holding it. Maybe they're holding it, and it's going to be like a secret cameo.
Maybe. I doubt it. Shane H. Wilder said, cringe of the day. Thanks, I hate it.
Yeah. We live to make your guys' life more. If I have to watch it, you have to watch it.
Wrath said, we need a new crusade. Is that in response to the cringe of the day?
Yeah, that was when we were watching Yes, Yes, Yes.
Yorishima Otaru said, how is Barbie a feminist film? Answer, word salad.
It was, and it wasn't a healthy word salad.
She needs to get her brain checked out.
Have you ever seen the meme? It says like the inventor of croutons. He goes, and it's like, I'm eating a salad. I wish this hurt.
I'm just picturing like Greta Gerwig goes into a seizure or something before she finishes answering that question.
Oh, yes.
Corey Anderson said, I didn't know Kamala Harris was making movies now.
Yeah.
Kamala Harris is more charismatic somehow than Greta Gerwig. Yurishima Otaru said Barbie was originally a gag sex doll from Germany.
I did not know that. I saw somebody else in the chat say that. Interesting.
I'm pretty sure that's true, but then they like based it off of the CEO's daughter instead.
Well, that's a whole bunch of weirdness that I don't want to get into.
Barbara.
Let's do one more and then we'll move on.
Justin G said, I would like to change my vote to mid, please. There's no going back. Once you've chosen one, you can't change it.
Yep. All right, let's hold off on the rest. We will come back, ladies and gentlemen. So let's talk about Dog the Bounty Hunter, Dylan Mulvaney, Peru, and homophobia, apparently, right?
Yeah.
What was going on?
Dog the Bounty Hunter recently did an interview where he just launched into a homophobic tirade. I don't know if it was specifically targeted at Dylan Mulvaney, if he was just talking in general. But it was pretty crazy. Do you think we can show it on here? Or
The one from the TMZ clip?
Yeah.
We can try.
Is it going to get us in trouble? It was pretty crazy because he is actually inciting violence.
Yeah, maybe we should leave it off then. Do you want to give an edited version of what he
basically
says?
said, like, if I saw Dylan Mulvaney in person, I would drop him.
You can't do that. You can't say that.
He said, we don't need any more sissy men. He said Jesus was not a sissy, and the pride comes before the fall. And he also said the classic line, God made Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve.
Wow, I have not seen...
Go off, dog.
Look, you might as well have that on some, like, it feels like something you'd see on some really, really bad person's doormat. In an area.
He
like,
said anyone who was coming for your children would have to get past Jesus's blood and shotgun shells first.
It's
so
he did not hold back. Okay.
He did not hold back at all.
And say what you will about those opinions, but he has the right to speak his mind.
This
like
is
any of us do.
Excuse me.
This is America.
I thought this was America.
Opinions. Those are just like emotions and bumper stickers.
In the chat, Dear Screen.
Speaking in bumper sticker.
He was speaking in bumper sticker.
In the chat right now, it's Dear Screen says Chad the Bounty Hunter. That's not, look.
He went off.
Here's what's funny. Like, Hollywood is now so, like, think about how Hollywood is so divided. Dog the Bounty Hunter used to do guest appearances on Hawaii Five-0. Like, if that show is still on the air, he ain't coming back after saying this.
And
they're not letting him
enough,
back.
It seems like one of his daughters is actually gay and in a gay relationship. So his other daughter posted on Instagram denouncing all of his comments. She said, the comments made by Dwayne Chapman reflect prehistoric beliefs and do not align with true Christian values.
Prehistoric.
Jesus loves everyone and would strongly denounce this non-accepting rhetoric. It is utterly repulsive to advocate violence against our transgender community, and it is equally repulsive to invoke Jesus' name in vain to support such views. Making comments about my sister's marriage and sexuality is abhorrent. I have personally apologized to my sister Lisa for our father's words, and I extend that apology publicly as well. Despite our differences, I am deeply sorry that our father publicly disrespected you and your relationship. I don't know if he specifically mentioned his daughter, but that's pretty weird.
I don't like back the stuff that Dog was saying, but I don't back what the response from his kid was either. The whole thing is just awful.
They're all bad. And then
addressing it as Dwayne Chapman instead of my dad.
My dad
telling.
Or my dad, Dog the Bounty Hunter.
So Dylan Mulvaney has decided to flee the United States in search of safety from this type of bigotry. Dylan Mulvaney has left America for Peru. As Daxerto said, she no longer feels safe. Let's watch this video real quick.
Let's do that.
I don't like watching Dylan Mulvaney TikToks, but it must be fun.
Okay, surprise! I'm in Peru, and I'm at Machu Picchu. Isn't this just so beautiful? I'm here by myself, and I used to do a ton of solo traveling. I'm telling you, it's the best.
I
if you could ever do a solo trip somewhere, it is such a good way to get to know yourself better.
That's
but
not the
I came here
experience
to
of
feel
most
something.
women.
You know what I mean? And I definitely have. I've done shaman ceremonies that were like 10 years worth of therapy. It was wild. I've seen a lot of llamas, and the people here are so kind. I feel very safe here. It's a little sad that I had to leave my country to feel safe, but that will get better eventually. And I am dying for some Trader Joe's rolled chili lime chips. But other than that, I am so content. Still haven't been kissed yet, but I'm holding out hope. And most of all, you know, this trip has me feeling like I'm my own best friend again. And that is the best feeling in the world. And I hope that you feel that way about yourself too. And I love ya. Okay. Bye.
I doubt that. Do you think Dylan didn't feel safe in America around the people that Dylan knew? Like, I don't understand what you're saying. Does he think that people?
Well, he talked about like I'm getting followed and stalked. In the streets.
Yeah, I mean that's not good either.
Seems like exactly the type of attention that Dylan Mulvaney wanted all along.
I mean, I don't think anybody should be following or threatening Dylan Mulvaney at all.
No, I don't think that either. But that's the type of attention that a narcissist wants. It doesn't matter if it's positive or negative.
There was just something really sad about watching that.
It's really sad because Dylan Mulvaney is clearly a very, very lonely and isolated person. I mean, even that comment, like, I haven't been kissed yet, haha, holding out hope. It's like you've made yourself repulsive to most people on purpose.
I've said this before in other on other venues or whatever, but the biggest thing preventing Dylan from getting a relationship is Dylan.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter about Dylan's transness or if Dylan's a gay man that's acting like whatever. I don't care. The act, the fact that people watch Dylan and are like, that looks exhausting.
Yeah.
Can you imagine trying to keep up? Like, trying to keep up with Dylan Mulvaney and also avoiding like a serious Adderall or cocaine problem? Not happening.
There's a big one there from Stephen Harris.
Oh, thank you. He said all Hollywood does is pander to Gen X with 80s reboots of anything we grew up with and no new original thought. Yep. Oh, by the way, Phil is effing awesome.
Thank you, Stephen.
And yes, and by the way, what's going to happen is eventually that's going to give way to pandering to millennials with the millennial reboots, and that's incoming.
Was there anything that came out for the millennials that could be rebooted?
There's a lot. I mean, the Harry Potter's already being rebooted.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
there's a lot. There's a lot of stuff. I think a lot of like the shows that I always talk about. All of those shows that were on the USA Network will probably end up getting rebooted down the
whole
line.
CW gets rebooted.
Yeah, we'll end up getting rebooted. Well,
literally everything.
Reboot the channel.
They rebooted Gilmore Girls, right, or something like all these shows that
Gossip Girl
or Gossip Girls, like all these shows that girls loved. Melrose Place got a reboot. That was Gen X. 90210 got a continuation. They did Saved by the Bell again. Like it'll just continue to happen. So, but
you're right about Dylan Mulvaney, Phil, because this is obviously not an authentic person.
Yeah.
That's like the biggest reason why you can't have a relationship is you can't even be honest with yourself, let alone anyone else. I mean, look, gay men wouldn't be interested in Dylan Mulvaney because this is someone trying to look womanly.
Like a woman. And
lesbians would not be attracted to Dylan Mulvaney
lesbians are probably the most
hopefully
repulsed.
Obvious reasons. Straight men probably not attracted to Dylan Mulvaney for again hopefully very obvious reasons.
But like even besides the anatomy stuff going on, Dylan is the kind of person that you would need to be able to
Dylan
deal
is
with
all
that
about
energy.
Dylan.
Yeah, I mean,
and no one else.
There's no way you can be in a relationship with Dylan and expect to have any room for yourself.
Yeah.
Your entire relationship is going to be about Dylan. So, I mean, at least that's the way that he comes off or she comes off. So if that's not the case, then the behavior needs to change to attract someone.
It's ironic that Dylan Mulvaney fled to Peru in order to feel safe as a minority in gender and sexual identity, because Peru actually is a bit challenged in its laws for LGBT people.
Hold on,
same-sex.
Dollclick says, "How do you guys even know that that she doesn't have people who like her? Oh my God, are you kidding me?" She said,
She literally says,
"I've still never been kissed." So we're just going by what Dylan said.
I mean, there are plenty of people who can comment on Dylan Mulvaney's TikToks.
How do we know?
Like,
Because
go queen, but that doesn't mean you have actual friends or relationships.
Yeah, because that's what Dylan said. Like,
yeah.
What
Anyway,
are you talking about?
I'm reading from the Wikipedia page now. Lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender people in Peru face legal challenges not experienced by non-LGBT residents. While same-sex sexual activity among consenting adults is legal, same-sex marriage and same-sex civil unions are still illegal, and you do not have the option in Peru to legally identify as any gender other than your biological sex.
So that's where we get back to the point where I talk about it's these people that pretend like America's not as awesome as it is, that doesn't have all the things that you're allowed to do here. It's annoying.
Thank you.
There's a $20 one there from Dave Gazuli.
He said,
wait for the crisis party. 1 second.
Said Dylan will find himself eventually. It will just take some time, and plant medicine is a poor substitute for self-discovery. Also, my posts may not always land, but it's hard when your head is always in the clouds. True. It's just, you're right about that, Brett. Like, the U.S. is the only place where Dylan Mulvaney is free to be Dylan Mulvaney and do Dylan Mulvaney things. But it comes at the cost, that freedom, that license that you have here comes at the cost that anyone is able to say anything about what you do and have opinions about what you do and voice them freely.
It's really funny, too, because I watch so much old television and I look back at just how different the world was and how much less fragile, or at least seemingly fragile, people were. If anything, people used to take an affront to your personality or the fact that you were different. Now it's almost like a false sense of pride where it's like, I'm different and I'm okay with that. But what they really mean is I'm different and I want you to be okay with that. Back then, you had to actually have the fortitude to accept that you were different, you weren't like everyone else. And the funny thing is, like, even for someone like me who is a straight white male, growing up rollerblading in a country where skateboarding was extremely popular, and there was a lot of people that didn't like what we did. I saw that from people in that industry. Never bothered me. It was just part of who I was, nor did I care what people thought of what I did. And we could do, as human beings, with getting back to that knowledge, Dylan Mulvaney could do with saying, like, look, you may not like me, but first of all, you got your millions from your ad campaigns from Bud Light and all these places. Take the money,
and run.
And not just take the money, accept that you're different, accept that being different is something that can be meaningful if you don't look at it as something that is something to be fixed from other people. You can't expect them to agree with everything you do in your life. That is not real. We've misunderstood what tolerance is. Yeah. Now tolerance is supposed to also mean blind acceptance. It doesn't mean that. Just because I don't have a problem with what Dylan Mulvaney...
It's more like tolerance means not just tolerating, but endorsing and celebrating.
Exactly. And just because I don't have a problem with what Dylan Mulvaney does, although I do find him too good at he is media trained and almost too good at the image he puts on for me to ever buy that it's real. I don't expect everyone on the planet to blindly endorse him, just like I don't expect everyone on the planet to blindly endorse me, my views, my beliefs, or who I am. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
Tolerance, the very word, implies that you are tolerating or abiding with a present evil or a present thing that bothers you, possibly. That, now you're right, that is turned into a word that means celebration.
Yeah, that's a great point, because like tolerance implies disapproval.
Yes, exactly.
Like the word tolerance, like the meaning of the word tolerance implies that you tolerate it even though you disapprove of it.
The permission that you have in this country to dress how you want, to express yourself how you want, to make TikToks and wear makeup and get brand deals, all of those permissions, they do come at the cost that you are open on the table for criticism, and people have equally the right to disapprove of what you do. Obviously, physical violence is not included in that, but like, if you don't feel safe because there are people at Breitbart misgendering you in articles, I'm sorry, you don't realize how privileged you are.
Yep. We have it very, very good here. Everyone that lives in this country has it very, very good here. It is the only place in the world where you find fat homeless people.
I mean, it's true, man.
It's annoying because it's my ideals being like I'm very critical of the U.S. government, but also very, very, very much in support of what American ideals should mean and the population should be, and what the population is, kind of run at odds, right? Like, you do live in the greatest country on earth. Sure, we're the great Satan to other countries, but if you were privileged enough to be born to live here, a little bit of gratitude would go a long way. And I talk about that a lot beyond just this story, that actually having gratitude is one thing when everything's going right. Being able to be grateful and understand gratitude when not everything is going right at all, that is actually when it's important.
100%.
So, all right. We got some super chats there.
Benjamin Mauser said, life in plastic, it's fantastic. Speaking of plastic, all of these people are saying like Jennifer Lawrence is looking really good these days, which is true.
She had a glow up. I agree.
It's not really a glow up. She just got a blepharoplasty that like raised her upper face and lengthened her eyelids.
I was basing it solely off of like I just figured it was like she was at a premiere.
She's an example of plastic surgery done right, and also the fact that surgery can give way better results than just pumping your face full of filler.
What was that movie she just had come out?
No Hard Feelings.
No, like there was photos of her at the No Hard Feelings premiere, and she was looking real.
It's like that life in plastic.
Yeah. Hold on. I saw it and I was like, is that the same person? I was like, I looked at it and like maybe she was the first female action hero of all time. I'm starting to buy it right now, ladies and gentlemen. Like, you know.
Surgery's not always an obvious thing.
I was like, look at her. Maybe she was before Ripley. What do I know?
Oh, wait a minute.
She got the eye lift.
Who's that?
Jennifer Lawrence.
Oh, God.
It barely looks like her, actually.
I mean, listen, I know that like people are going to feel a way about like getting surgery and stuff. She looked good as hell. I don't care what anyone says.
She does look good.
She looks so good.
I'm feeling some type of way about this photo. I am.
Like she's she's kind of like my the soft features. Like she doesn't have like pointy features. She has kind of soft features in her face, and like that. I find her so attractive. So like she's just the prettiest one in the world.
When I say surgery done right, it means that she got the eye lift. And she didn't get the buccal fat removal that like sucking the fat out of your face.
So pretty.
She looks incredibly youthful because she kept that baby face that she was made fun of for having for so long.
I think she's just, like I said, I mean, she's just stupid pretty in my opinion.
She looks like she's angry at me in that photo, and I'm here for it. Let's go.
You know.
Disco Jensen
Didn't we talk about not talking about kinks or something?
Disco Jensen said, Hollywood is a zombie. The last few projects show that it knows how to do the old stuff well, but unnatural storytelling is costly.
All the storytelling these days is unnatural.
Tom Bombarder said, unions aren't universally bad. My old man was part of the UMWA coal miners, then Teamsters, truck drivers. They represented their members. I am sympathetic with those unions, but when it's actors striking.
But isn't it also kind of like one of those things, like when they talk about unions, that used to be for like skilled labor that required certifications and stuff like that. So like, whether you're an HVAC tech, whether you're a plumber, an electrician, that's different than somebody who just is an actor.
Or works at Starbucks.
Or, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
Corey Anderson said, Mary, when are you getting married? I think you would be an adorable pregnant lady. Well, that's a little weird.
But, like, I'm trying to picture Mary, like we're doing the show and Mary's like, I don't have time for this.
No comment.
No comment?
The last of my kind said stuck in traffic for over an hour now, but I got PCC.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All right, guys. We got a couple more things to talk about here. We got one more very big thing to talk about.
Yeah.
So, ladies and gentlemen, it has been going around on Twitter and social media, much like our discussion we just had about Jennifer Lawrence. See, the internet is wildly debating, is Margot Robbie mid? Thoughts?
She's definitely not mid, because mid implies average, and average is overweight in America. So she's not mid, just by definition.
So a Twitter user posted a selfie of hers where she was wearing no or minimal makeup and captioned it, "This is her without makeup, definitely mid." Let's show the example here.
Yeah, here I got
this one. So we can
right
get
here.
your educated opinions.
She is not mid.
She's definitely not mid.
My favorite, this lady
and
here
also,
says...
tell me for 1 second that you would swipe left.
Look, that picture also, and on top of that, you're not wrong, I wouldn't. But like that picture too, like if you take the phone and you go...
Yeah.
and take a picture, it's
and still look that good?
Yeah, and still look...
It's kind of like the meme whenever it says like when you accidentally open the front camera and everybody's face looks like that and like nobody looks good when the front camera just opens. Margot Robbie looks fantastic when she accidentally opens the front-facing camera.
Yeah.
She does. I don't care if it's
Another
on a
person-
4-megapixel camera, a 12-megapixel camera. She's going to look good either way.
Another person said, she's a hard 7. You used to find a Margot Robbie in every Blockbuster video in 1995.
Okay, why is it always a Blockbuster? What is the other one there? It was like it's either they're at a Blockbuster in
Or like a
1995
Chili's
or a
waitress that you
Chili's
had in
waitress in 1995. They're always, it's every small town had at least one Margot Robbie at this
But like
town.
maybe in 1995 you weren't addicted to high-speed internet, hardcore pornography.
People weren't as fat.
Yeah, people weren't as fat. That's also another factor.
That's true. Like
You
people,
weren't constantly inundated with images and videos of extremely beautiful women on your phone,
all the time.
Your computer that's in your pocket constantly.
Yep.
And you had a more accurate view of what women are beautiful or not.
As someone that like was alive in 1995 and like doing adult things, like it really wasn't so different the way that you were like now people say, oh, you're inundated with stuff from your phone. And it's like, yes, but you were still getting it back then too. You were getting it in ads. You were still getting it on TV. There were television playing everywhere. So there was still that same type of thing. I really think that the fact that people are just overall not as healthy nowadays as they were in the past, I think that has a lot to do with it. A lot to do with it.
I'm not going to be able to agree with the people saying hard 7 here. I don't think that this is nobody's swiping left.
I think it's just a contrarian trolling take. And also people are saying that this is an example of the negging tactic, where you flirt with someone by putting them down a little bit. This is not negging.
No.
You have never and will never get a chance to interact with Margot Robbie or likely anyone as beautiful as her in person in your life. Yep. And you're just coping because of that.
Yep.
You're like, damn, I didn't even want her anyways, and she doesn't know who you are.
And she is, there was Jamie Presley in the 90s, who was very much similar looking to her. Emma Mackey looks similar to her. Hollywood has a type, right? There is a certain objective beauty that Hollywood likes to push. And to say that she's mid isn't, somebody's saying hard 7 isn't mid though. I'm like, I don't see.
7 isn't mid in my opinion, because mid means average. Yeah. 7 is above average.
I don't know if I see her as a 7 either. I see her as higher than that.
I also don't know what it means when people say like a hard 7 or a soft 7 or like, what do those words mean?
7.5, 6.8, those kind of things. Dave
Gazzulli said, you can do a lot with heavy makeup and Insta filters. I can't believe this is an actual position. Say it with me, people. Natural beauty is still a thing. Just because you might not have it, don't just discount it.
Insta filters can give you someone else's whole ass face.
Yeah.
Never mind just makeup and stuff like.
Some
it
of
can
them are
make
pretty
you
extreme,
into Tom Cruise.
Well, this is not that. I'm looking at her right here. This is not Insta filters.
It's also ironic that men are constantly saying that they wish that women would be more natural, stop getting lip fillers, stop getting BBLs.
I never said any of that
using makeup
bullshit.
to mask your face, your real face. But then when a woman actually takes a candid photo of herself without makeup on, you shit on her.
Amelia Clark,
yeah, she posted a selfie without makeup, and everyone dunked on her for it when she looked good in the picture.
So some of the other comments that were said by Evie, it says Margot Robbie was cast in Barbie explicitly because she isn't pretty enough to alienate a female audience.
That is
insane.
Which it also doesn't follow, because as Brittany Martinez pointed out on Twitter, women were the ones viewing Victoria's Secret fashion shows. They were the ones viewing America's Next Top Model and beauty pageants.
Okay, so
things like this. It doesn't alienate a female audience to show them an aspirational female figure.
Most of that is right, but I did watch a lot of Victoria's Secret's models.
You're an exception.
But otherwise, you're right. I agree with you. So
I mean, I think a lot of maybe like wives watched, maybe husbands were like, yes, I would love to watch the Victoria's Secret fashion show with you, honey. But also, like, look, for a lot of this, there is a thing where within women that they do tear down the idea of traditional beauty, especially in today's day and age. It's when they say, where are her organs? Unrealistic beauty standards. That is a thing that people talk about in the world today. Margot
Mighty
Robbie,
Rack said Scarlett Johansson. Yes, she's got those soft features as well. She's super pretty. Super pretty. Anyways.
And I can't believe that this is something that people have to debate, because we just talked about Jennifer Lawrence for what, 5 minutes. And like you said, and it is also fair to point out, like, it isn't a fair comeback to then say to the people that do claim this to be like, well, you wouldn't have a chance with her because, like, look, that's you can critique all you want. You should be critiquing, not necessarily. You should be realistic on what you yourself are. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's party time.
Andrina in the chat says the men in this chat seem to have crazy standards. Yes, they do. They have ridiculous standards. If Margot Robbie is mid, I think you've got ridiculous standards.
When men are on the internet, they like pretend that they have astronomically high standards, but then if you look at the women that they actually date, men don't have standards. I think Adriana Lima said this. She said, I really am flattered that men desire me, but I have to remember that they would also have sex with a McChicken, so I don't take it that seriously.
I saw a some kind of statistic or whatever, something that there was a study done. Men, when they're ready to get married, they will marry the woman that they're with. Like when they're like, okay, it's time to settle down.
That was a Chris Rock bit where he goes, "Fine, I'll marry you." Jeez.
It's like
no, it's not. It's not. No, it's not a Chris. It's not a bit. But and then there was another thing because women were shocked because women are like looking for the guy, and so when women were told, guys will actually, when they decide, okay, it's about time. If they're with the woman, they're not gonna like be like, oh, I'm ready to get married, so I need to break up with this woman and find another woman. They'll marry the woman they're with. Whereas women, if they're like, I'm looking to settle down, they're looking for a certain kind of guy. And women didn't understand that. I can't believe it.
There's a neurotic attitude to the women's search, and the men's is more I found it time to
it's sort of this arbitrary
it's
time of readiness.
Yeah, but it's the fact that women are more picky or more selective than guys. Women are looking for, there's 20% of the guys out there that all the women want. Yep. Guys will go
smaller. I think it was like 10% or something.
Well,
like but you got some 10%.
Yeah, but the point is, like, men, like, half of the women in existence, men will marry.
And this is why when I would talk about, like, when I would go out in public, I would see girls who were not super pretty with guys that I felt took really good care of themselves, were driving nice cars,
with guys that you thought were really hot and sexy.
Yeah, exactly. So
these were super kind of attractive.
These were dudes that I was really into. Yeah. So, but the point is like, did the dude just say, "Sure, I'm ready to get married. Let's get married"? Like the Chris Rock bit is he goes, guys never want to settle down. He goes, guys don't want to settle down. They surrender. He goes, fine, I'll marry you. Just let me know the day before. I'll be there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. Like I think it's a little bit of a cope to say that she's mid.
This one article said, you don't see women reacting this way to Ryan Gosling, which is true. No women are talking about how Ryan Gosling is overrated. He's mid.
There was plenty of people saying that he was too old and unattractive to play Ken.
They were saying he was too old, but no one is denying that Ryan Gosling is one of the most handsome celebrities.
By the way, I'm going to end the poll now keep going.
It said, we're not delusional about attractive men when we see one. Instead, we go the other way and drag legitimately mid men like Pete Davidson to sex god status, literally just because we like their vibe.
I think it's Pete Davidson has a really big wiener and chicks want to find out.
That's most likely.
They're just like, is it really that big? Let me go ahead and ride that ride.
I think there's some funny business going on right now because I hit end to the poll and it just disappeared. Does anybody see
YouTube doesn't want the truth to come out.
YouTube is hiding the truth, ladies and gentlemen. The number one, the answer so far, what I saw was that 64% said that she was not mid. So that's the answer. But now it's never going to know for sure because some midnight ballots might have come in and we'll never know because it just disappeared. Where the hell did it go? Does anybody know?
No.
I don't know.
YouTube is suppressing the truth. They don't want you to know that Margot Robbie isn't mid.
But also, like, when they say Pete Davidson is mid, for men, your job, your career, and your income plays more of a role for that for women than it would for men. So Pete Davidson being a Saturday Night Live member.
Don't discount that personality is a huge factor in women's attraction.
100%.
And like chemistry is a huge factor in women's attraction. And guys are way more prioritizing looks for the women that they're attracted
100%.
to.
Like, look, the fact of the matter is, like, if I weren't like in the position that I'm in, my life, my sex life and relationship life would have been completely different. Like, the success level of someone when it comes to a man is probably the most attractive thing to a woman. Like, once you get past the, like, is he like physically hot? It's like, once you get past that, it really does boil down to, has the guy done anything with his life? Is he successful in his career? You know, that kind of stuff is really, really important to women.
One of these comments is more telling. He said, "Where are her big Barbie doll tits?" Might I add that Barbie is a PG-13 movie and not a porno. And
he
by
didn't
the way,
say take them out.
Barbie dolls never had ginormous, disproportionate tits. They had very normal, proportionate sized tits.
Barbie's proportions were ridiculous.
They were
and
ridiculous,
clown-like.
but not because her boobs were gigantic.
Her legs were just
her
really long.
Her waist was tiny.
Her waist was tiny and her legs were 17,000 miles.
Yeah.
All the way to Canada.
I'm not saying Barbie dolls are realistic proportions for women, but like that certainly is telling for where these guys are coming from. They're looking for sex doll proportions on a Barbie doll. And if there's...
So it's just a miscommunication.
I can't think of... If Margot Robbie isn't fit to play Barbie, then who is these days? And not an actress of days past, but like an actress in her 20s or 30s today. Who would it be other than Margot Robbie? Amy Schumer?
Also, let's face it, like a big part of it, like to make a movie, it's not just about what she looks like. It's also the fact that Margot Robbie owns a production company and was one of the producers on the film. She's got more name recognition than just about any actress out there right now, aside from maybe a Scarlett Johansson. She's a very big name in the blonde actress game, and that's what you get. I actually can't think of a more fitting person to play, unless they were going to dye the hair of a brunette, in which case I'd have to think about it.
Anne Hathaway?
I mean, Anne Hathaway, I mean, even she's a little bit too, is her like too tall? Or,
I mean,
I'm sorry, is her face too long?
Anne Hathaway was considered for Barbie before Margot Robbie was in the picture.
Super pretty too.
Sydney Sweeney could play kind of porny eyes Barbie a little bit.
I'm not even sure who Sydney Sweeney is.
She should have been one of the Barbies.
Yeah, she's in Euphoria. But yeah, so I don't know, man. We'll have to see what it comes out of the public discourse. But at least what I'm seeing, I will say this, that the articles that I've seen, most of it seems to be stuff where they're just talking about, this is ridiculous, she's not mid, rather than making it about like, men are just evil misogynist trolls. They're just like, you're wrong. You're objectively wrong. She is not in any way, shape, or form mid. Maybe a little bit less time online.
I think these guys aren't evil misogynists. I think they're just lonely, insecure losers.
Would you have objected to Scarlett Johansson as Barbie?
I don't think that she really gives Barbie.
Scarlett Johansson has zero of Barbie, like the Barbie trait. So it would to me, it would be very out of character. Now, if she did it and like nailed the role, more power to her. It'd be like, oh, wow, cool. She's a great actress or whatever. Fine. But my impression of Scarlett Johansson just doesn't really fit the Barbie role. But that's just me.
In the chat, I've seen several people say my opinions are mid. I'm like, okay, a 5 out of 10 on my opinions. I guess
that's pretty good.
I'll take it. I'll take it. All right, guys. I think we got at least one super chat there before we finish up.
No, we've got more than that.
Okay.
The Last of My Kind said, the hot girl next door always worked at Blockbuster, the movies, the Fun Center, Great American Cookie Company, etc. Break my screen swiping right on her.
Yeah. Blockbuster sounds right. Also, remember, didn't we talk recently about the two girls who basically got complimented for working at Home Depot while being hot? It was like working. It's kind of like driving well. Yeah, it's working well hot.
I think they don't realize just how rare OnlyFans actually is.
It's only like 2 million.
There's not that
2 million
great of an
people.
amount of women doing OnlyFans.
2 million, I think they said is the actual amount of the creator pool. 2 to 3 million.
But you don't know how many of those accounts are even active.
Yeah.
Let alone successful. Hiroshima Otaru said, men who want natural aren't the ones dunking. I disagree. I think that a lot of the same guys saying like women should be less fake, less plastic, use less makeup, and stop, false advertising, are a lot of the same ones saying, the natural women, like Margot Robbie, are mid. I think there's a lot of overlap there. And it's hypocritical, but I'm sure they don't care. Tom Bompadurp said, being noted as average is hardly shitting on someone, Mary. God has given you one face, and you make yourselves another. Frailty, thy name is woman. Well, I don't know if I said they were shitting on her.
Where is this one? I don't see that one. I can't. I must. That one's not showing up on my end here. Yeah, it's not showing up on. That one's not showing up on my end.
But if you're calling this negging, that's not the same thing.
It's definitely not the same thing because Margot Robbie will never hear your individual criticism.
Also, when it comes to like face-to-face interaction and like game, a lot of guys seem to think that negging just means straight up insulting someone.
I mean, is that the tactic that
when it's supposed to be like playful and charming?
Yeah. Okay, can you give me an example of playful and charming?
It's not you're fucking ugly. Like that's not negging.
Like
that's
the video
just
I showed
insulting
you,
someone.
like the video I showed, the Stormy G video, where he's like, "You disgusting." What did he call her?
A disgusting rat.
Yeah, he's like, "What's up, you disgusting rat?" She's like, me?" He's like, "You're sexy as hell." It's like, you can't call somebody a disgusting rat and then call them sexy as hell. That doesn't make any sense.
There's a couple people like that dude Sneeko. That's
yes.
He's got one of the people in his orbit. That Zerka guy. He's a dude that just sits there and just slimes women, just calls them all the names and stuff. And apparently it works. Apparently he's crushing vaginas all over the place.
He's like, yes, low self-esteem. Come my way. Let's go.
Winter Fire said, mid, talk about the Emmys, nominated every person in The Last of Us.
Yeah, they did.
That's some mid acting right there.
The episode, the infamous episode 3 got nominations for both Murray Bartlett and for Offerman. But then also the young boy who died in episode 4, spoiler, the dad and the son who escape with them, and then the kid turns overnight.
Yeah, they're brothers.
That kid died. Oh, brother. Yeah, I'm sorry. He got nominated for an Emmy. It is what it is.
That show was so bad. I don't even think you kept like praising Pedro Pascal's acting.
I loved it. I thought it was
literally
fun.
just means Pedro Pascal was the least bad at acting in that show.
Yeah.
The Last of My Kind said Alexandria Daddario Barbie.
What's funny is that a lot of people know Alexandria Daddario from True Detectives. She was also in the first 6 or 7 episodes of White Collar. She's great. She's they're saying that because she was nude in True Detectives. So there's less to imagine. They can see it all. All right, guys. Before we go, that was all of them. Right? Yep. All right. So, guys, before we go, would you hit the like button on this video? Would you subscribe to this channel if you have not done so already? Thank you very much. Phil, let everyone know where they can find you.
I am Phil Labonte. You can find me on Twitter at Phil That Remains. I am at Phil That Remains Official on Instagram. The band is All That Remains, available on Apple Music, Spotify, Pandora, and the old YouTubers.
Can you give us an example of someone that's mid?
Someone that's mid. Amy Schumer is probably mid.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because she's kind of overweight, but she's not terribly overweight. She might be pretty if she lost weight, but you're probably never gonna know.
Mindy Kaling lost a bunch of weight, right? Who's the one who lost a bunch of weight recently?
Mindy Kaling did.
Yeah.
Ozempic.
And yeah, Mindy Ozempic. All right, Mary, where can they find you?
You can send me validation on Instagram at Mary Archived, or you can send me hate on Twitter. That is also Mary Archived.
Wait, didn't you say that I was in the wrong for loving Priyanka Chopra? You said she was mid. Did you say that?
I think that you liked her from a certain show.
Yes. Well, she was
10 years ago.
And she's
and
not
more
like,
recent photos. I just don't think she's like that.
I don't know. I mean, I hated the show. Oh, Rebel Wilson. Yeah, Rebel Wilson lost a bunch of weight. That was the other one who lost a ton. And Adele. Adele's hot now.
Yeah, Adele's pretty.
And people are mad.
Yeah, they're very mad. Her and Rebel Wilson were supposed to say fat forever so that it could reinforce their world.
They're contractually obligated to be fat.
Yeah. Well, Rebel Wilson actually was.
Yes.
Yeah. So, yes. But I will say that I did end up seeing photos of her, or I ended up seeing her in Citadel. I thought she's still gorgeous. I still find Priyanka Chopra to be very gorgeous. But guys, if you would like to follow me, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Brett Dasovic on both of those platforms. If you'd like to watch this show, we are here Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is noon Pacific. If you'd like to listen to the podcast version of this show, the audio version, it is on Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Pandora, and Spotify. And if you'd like to follow the show on social media, we're on Twitter at popculture_show, Facebook and TikTok at popculturecrisis, and on Instagram at popculturecrisispod. We'll be back with another episode tomorrow. We'll see you then, guys.
Bye.
Later.
Bye.